Nobody really believes that. So in biographies and that they say 10, but when I was an infant, I started picking up little ukuleles in that and picking out tunes on them. Of course, it wasn't, the guitar would be way too big for your hand to, that tiny little finger to do that. But I was always humming and singing and so forth around the house, so I guess it was pretty natural.
So the guitar was your choice, or maybe your parents made?
The guitar was perfectly my choice, and my parents never ever influenced or forced me, or none of that. I don't believe in forcing anybody ever at any time to do something. Then you get a bunch of instrumentalists that can play a lot of notes and have nothing to say because there's nothing in there to communicate. And so, no, I was never, ever forced, or I never was told to practice or anything like that. I just did it.
What kind of music do you like to play?
All types of music. Stravinsky, when somebody asked Stravinsky one time, what type of music do you like? And he said, oh, I like good music. And so I've always said that's a very good answer.
But you play so different pieces, folk music, classical music.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things I've recorded I've got a 17-album catalog, and I've recorded most of the solo classical guitar repertoire, the standard repertoire, the chaconne and those things, and the masterpieces and that. And, after you're done doing that, you have to go somewhere. In other words, to daughter at 90 and repeat yourself is not a world I'm looking into. What I have done, and what I'm presently doing, is transcribing pieces for the classical guitar from every single field of music. I've got literally, I should mention this right now because we're in Romania. I was speaking last week with the cultural attaché when I did the concert at the World Bank in Washington, D.C., for Princess Margareta and the ambassador, and he's asked me to do transcriptions of Romanian folk songs. So in the next months and that, he's going to be sending me different works, and I'm going to look at them and take the wheat from the chaff and looking at an album like that. So that's a perfect example of what I'm doing. I mean, I had not focused on Romanian folk music until this period. And American folk songs, for instance, they've never been transcribed for the instrument. It's not that they haven't been played on the instrument, it's just that they haven't been done in a sophisticated, refined, coherent way. So that is really new, and this is absolutely changing, I should say adding to, expanding the repertoire, because let's face it, the classical music audience is about that big. And if you do not bring in many more people, it will die, and that would be a terrible thing. And this is, in truth, the only real instrument that can do that, because it has such a broad base. You look at all the other styles of music, and you've got tens of thousands of people going to concerts. And so you have to bring that in if you're going to preserve this wonderful classical tradition and adapt. That's a pretty long-winded answer for a simple question.
What are you going to sing tonight?
I'm not going to sing. I'm going to play solo classical guitar. I'm going to play two of the American medleys you mentioned. I'm going to play the Bach Chaconne. I'm going to play Grand Overture by Giuliani, Dance Number 5 by Granados, movements from the Third Cello Suite by Bach, which is eminently transcribable for this instrument, and many another piece that I'm not going to reveal. So people come and see it.
Do you enjoy being here?
Yes. I've been to Eastern Europe. I played at the Bartok School of Music many years ago in Hungary. I've been all over Middle Europe and South America and India and America and many, many other places in the world. And I will say this, last night as my good friend over there was driving me from the train station through the Carpathian Mountains, through the beauty here is unbelievable. This is really a glory of the world. Those mountains are, the way they were formed, the way nature formed them, that geographic area is really one of the high points of the earth, let me tell you. It really is. And I cannot believe the natural beauty of this. You are blessed in that regard. So the answer is yes.
What are you going to do after you leave Târgu Mureș?
Going to, is it Mircea Ciuc? Is that what it is?
Miercurea Ciuc.
Yes, right. Going there, and then back to Budapest to do, doing a concert, and then going to Budapest and doing radio and maybe another television thing.
Thank you very much, and I bid you success.
I thank you.
Mr. Taylor, it is true that you can play the guitar in your sleep.
No. No, just with my eyes closed. So I play mostly with my eyes closed, but actually you probably do play in your sleep because your subconscious probably goes through the material at night.
I understand you are very satisfied about this hall.
Yes, this hall is a wonderful, wonderful hall. It has beautiful acoustics. I was remarking to you earlier that it's a world-class hall, and it's comparative to Carnegie, which I was at earlier this year. I think it was this year, yes. And yes, it's a very beautiful hall. Besides its aesthetic beauty, I'm talking acoustically, it's very wonderful. Aesthetically, it's just outstanding. And I told you I could remember, it seems similar also to the replica of Albert Hall in Madras, India, that I played at in 1995, late 95 in December. And that is very similar to this, the antiquity, the beautiful aesthetic quality it has.
What about our town? Have you visited?
I have visited your town now for 24 hours. Because as I took a train in from Bucharesti, and I was just down here in the street here near the hotel and walked around in that. But believe me, I came in, I was very tired, and mostly today I rested because I needed it.
But you were in Brașov.
I was in Brașov. I saw the Castle Braun yesterday, and of course I was in Bucharest. I went to a what shall I say, a party at the Canadian Embassy's house a few nights ago, and met some other Americans that are working here that are doing agriculture and that. And I was in Brașov where, as I was telling you earlier, the natural condition here is breathtaking. It is absolutely breathtaking. As I said, I could sit there for hours and just be content in nature, just like the monkey I am.
The Americans are very interested in Dracula. When you came here, you were afraid of vampires.
Oh no, I knew there was more werewolf myths. Isn't that really true? That there's really more, culturally, the idea of the werewolf is more than the Dracula myth. Is that right or is that wrong?
Romania don't have such things.
They don't have those. Okay, well then I'm wrong on both accounts. No, I knew of Vlad Tepes's some history of his. I should tell a gruesome story if we have time. Should I tell a gruesome that I know? Okay. And then all the viewers out there can correct my American perception, which is probably all wrong. I understood that Vlad Tepes, a conservative ruler, had 3 local ministers come into the castle while he was there, and he asked them, or his, should say his right-hand man, asked them to tip his hat to Vlad. And these guys were very proud and puffed up, and they were, well, we're not going to tip our hat to you. And so the right-hand man told Vlad Tepes, said, well, they're not going to do it, sir. And he said, fine. And he nailed the hats to their head and then stuck them on poles on the outside of the castle there. Would that be in keeping with the traditional Vlad Tepes?
Well, let's let the TV spectators decide.
Let them find out. Is that true or not true? Yeah.
Let's see, what do you know more about Romania? You know that in our country have many changes took place in last years. Have you followed them?
I know all about the changes. Yes, I'm familiar. I have many Romanian friends back home in America. And yesterday, I should tell you this, I visited a very dear friend of mine, Senator Nicolae Zavic, all right, in Brașov, who is a wonderful, wonderful man. He was a former surgeon, Dr. Zavic. And he was with Prince Michael, I think, a few weeks ago when he was here. Was it a month ago? Is that right? In fact, we were going to invite him to the recital, but he's been back in Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, I know very much about the revolution in Timișoara of '89. I'm going to tell the audience about some things tonight, so I'm going to hold that off. But I know exactly what happened, yes. And I'm very hopeful about what is going to continue. I think that Romania is on its way. And I think that's a wonderful and great thing. And it took a lot of courage to do what they did in Timișoara. And I am very proud of the people that did that and the Romanians that did that. Because when somebody has been on your throat for 25 years, it takes a hell of a lot of guts to stand up. And that is a very admirable thing.
And now please say something for our TV spectators.
About what?
A wish or something.
A wish, okay. I wish all of you health and happiness, and one day soon we will share the dreams you have, and I know that that will be very soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.